Hello, 7th graders. Your new video is on percents, decimals, and fractions. So remember when we talk about percents, it is always compared to 100, no matter what the percent is. Even if you had 300%, you would put 300 over 100 to turn it to a fraction. So let's go through each of these. So if I wanted to, right here, write a decimal as a percent, it says you can multiply the decimal by 100. And an easier way to say that is just to very simply move the decimal 2 spots to the right. So if my decimal was 0.759, you take it from wherever it's at, move it 2 to the right, so it would be 75.9%. And again, it doesn't matter where the decimal's at. If you had a weird one like this, you can still only move it 2 to the right. So this one would be 518.75%. So then we can also do this one to write a percent as a decimal. Obviously, it would be the opposite of what we just did. So it's dividing it by 100. And an easier way to say that is that we're going to move the decimal 2 spots to the left. So if I start with 48.9%, again, it doesn't matter what kind of number you have, you can only move it 2 spots. So 2 to the left, you would end up with 0.489. And so if I had 115%, where's the decimal at right now? It's always at the end of the whole number. So again, you can only go 2 to the left, so it'd be 1.15 for your answer. So the next part, to write a fraction as a percent, says you divide the top number by the bottom number to change it to a decimal, and then once you have it as a decimal, you can go ahead and just move it 2 to the right. So let's say that our fraction was 21/40. I'm going to go ahead and change that to a decimal, so I have to divide. So it doesn't go into 2 or 21, but it will go into 210 5 times. 40 will go into 100 twice. I have to borrow another 0, bring down a 0. So again, that'll go in there. So now I have my decimal of 0.525, but that's not what they asked for. It says write it as a percent. So then I have to go 2 to the right, and I will get 52.5% for my answer. So then the last type of problem, to write a percent as a fraction, you're just going to, remember I said at the beginning of the video that you're always going to compare it to 100, right? So put the number over 100. It will always be over 100 no matter what it is. So if I have 35%, if I want to change that to a fraction, I very simply just go 35 over 100. And then normally it's probably going to say to reduce. So find a number that goes into both. It'd be 7/20. And again, even if you have a percent that's over 100, so if I had 155%, you're still going to put it over 100. It's going to be top heavy because you're more than 100. So you could reduce it as far as you could. If you reduce them both by 5, that would be so 31 over 20, and you would just leave it like that because it's top heavy. So 4 different types of problems. Changing a decimal to a percent, and that's very simply just moving it 2 to the right. From a percent to a decimal, you go 2 to the left. Fraction to a percent, there's 2 steps. You divide the top number by the bottom number, and then after you get your decimal, move it 2 to the right. And then to write a percent as a fraction, just put it over 100, reduce it, and leave it as it is, even if it's top heavy. So bring that knowledge with you, and we'll talk about it more when I see you next.